It sucks that we can't make references during like the preemptive pre-intro pod.
Yeah. What were you gonna do?
I can't tell you, so instead I'll just start it off with what's going on, Titans? Welcome back to another episode of Daily Titan Podcast, or DT Pod for short. In today's episode, we're going to be breaking down volume 118, issue number 13 of the Daily Titan student newspaper. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a couple of stories, including one about new housing laws. We're also going to be going over a library exhibit that's happening here on campus. We're going to take some time to talk about AI detection software and an opinion related to it. And we're going to wrap it up with some chatter about men's basketball. And before I forget, Titans, I'm one of your co-hosts and your layout editor, Kabeer, Kansara, and I'm joined with
your other co-host and news assistant editor, Demiana, Ghobrial. For our top story of the week, we have a story on new assembly bills that are addressing student housing, written by Copy Editor Eddie Ursua. And we have news editor Michelle King here to talk some more about the story.
Hello,
Welcome back.
Hello.
Thank you.
So, tell us about the story.
Yes, so this story focuses on some assembly bills that were introduced to kind of assist in the student housing crisis going on right now. Specifically, the article focuses on Assembly Bill 893, which incentivizes and kind of streamlines building affordable housing near California college campuses.
The bill also outlines, as it talked about in the story, the bill also talks about like certain criteria that future projects must meet, such as like they have to meet certain like levels of affordability. They have to have like certain units available for low income students. But it's not just low income students. The story also talks about how the housing crisis, like specifically as it pertains to like living near campuses and universities, affects like not only students but also like staff and faculty that like are trying to look for housing near their place of work.
Yeah. One of these criteria as well is that the kind of zones for these this streamlining process is within a half mile of any UC, CSU, or California Community College campus. So that will kind of ease a lot of the stress of people trying to live near those campuses, which, like you were saying, is not just students but faculty, staff. With housing costs being so high right now, especially near college campuses, I think this will be really beneficial for a lot of people.
Yeah, and then I think the benefits come not just from like having more affordable units, but having just like more units as a whole. In an interview with Deason Lin, an assistant like professor in finance, Lin spoke about how there were only like 1,100 beds even within like the 1 mile radius of the campus. So just kind of like, I think another benefit or like provision outlined in the bill is that more housing is just available in general.
Right, yeah. This also kind of ties into Fullerton's housing plan, which they have to participate in according to state mandates. So the city of Fullerton must build 13,000 units in the next couple of years. So before 2030, they have to increase their housing units as per state mandates.
of that. Don't they also have to meet a requirement of like a certain amount of affordable housing units?
Yes, yeah, there is a percentage of those that need to be built that has to be affordable or low income or very low income serving. A lot of those people living in that housing will be students, just because students do not typically have a lot of money.
Yes.
So those units are not only serving just low income or very low income people in Fullerton, but students as well.
Yeah, and then on that need for the 13,000 extra units, I know that we've reported on it previously. In the article, it also kind of just like shares an update on it. Shayna Charles, a city council member, said that the city already has around like 3,000 units built, but it's still waiting on those other 10,000 before its deadline in 2030.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you want to talk a little bit about like some opposition that this bill has faced?
Yeah, so there was some opposition faced by the South Bay City's Council of Governments, they kind of said that putting this bill out doesn't necessarily address every community, and that every community has its nuances to what needs to be addressed. And a bill like this will not effectively cover kind of what's going on in every community, and that the state should kind of look into what specific groups are facing and how they can be better addressed, as opposed to just kind of a blanket bill.
And then kind of related to that, there are some future studies that this bill also outlines need to be finished before January 1st, 2027, and then January 1st, 2031, just kind of studying the outcomes of this bill.
But a very important question on my mind personally is that, as you know, recently other housing developments like the Hub have started having small businesses located at the bottom floor of their apartment complex. So if y'all were developers, what would you put at the bottom of the building you're building?
My answer, unfortunately, is not a small business, but I would put like a
big business?
A grocery store, or perhaps a Trader Joe's.
Ooh,
oh, that's good.
that would be great.
Personally, I put a bookshop cafe in there. That would be good.
Yeah,
and then,
that's a good one.
Because think about it, we're in a college town. Everybody, like, almost everybody has roommates. Imagine your roommate is in the apartment, you don't want to be in there. Bam! Downstairs to go sit in the cafe / bookshop. This is so great.
Okay.
That's a good one. What about you?
I don't know.
Well, we'll come back. We'll revisit this.
We should.
Next week. In the meantime, thank you for coming.
Thank
you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Farewell.
Farewell.
And now, we're going to swing it on over to our lifestyle desk to talk about a recent exhibit that's currently going on in the public library atrium.
Oh, I actually can't wait to talk about this. What would this exhibit be?
Be careful, it's a little edgy. I'm not going to hold you, it's a
Okay.
little edgy. But it's about swords. The exhibit is called Skill and Steel, and it focuses on the history of swordsmanship from medieval times all the way up until modern day fencing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It actually unironically really
I
is.
know. I was reading this story. I got really into it because I think, wow, this is just such a good idea for an exhibit.
Honestly, yeah. And so the exhibit is held in part with SoCal Swords. They are an organization based in Orange, and they sort of specialize in different forms of historical martial arts, European martial arts. They have this thing called HEMA, HEMA, Historical European Martial Arts. And through SoCal Swords and HEMA and everything, they kind of compile a bunch of resources to focus on the history of swordsmanship and also sort of its renewal in today's modern culture.
Yeah.
Every year, SoCal Swords hosts their annual event where they have a sort of convention based on swords play, where they teach, different techniques about how to use swords, history on different swords.
Yeah, and I think this article also talks about how this is the largest sword fighting event of its kind.
Yeah.
And then, to participate in the competition, competitors travel in from all over the world. I think it's just kind of a really cool niche of people who, get together to talk about this, aspect of history. The exhibit also was fully featured from the team's personal collections. I thought that was just also, really cool. It's a really cool kind of, way to source them. The personal collections included books that were centuries old, swords, of course, and then a section dedicated to blacksmithing, which ties into kind of the story that the exhibit is trying to tell about the history of sword making.
Definitely. I think it's really dope that they sourced it from the group, because it kind of shows the group's intention of wanting to expand their community and kind of bring this to a newer audience, having this in the middle of campus, south side of the library. You walk in from that one side and you're immediately sort of seeing this.
Yeah.
And it's really cool how it's kind of caught passerby's attention. The article does a really good job at sort of showing how an exhibit like this can kind of draw in students and sort of expand the audience of something a little bit more niche like this kind of topic, sword play and blacksmithing, things like that. For example, there was a student, Matthew Barland, who's a comp sci major, and he was just saying how he was walking by the exhibit and was interested in just sort of what was in the room and seeing all these swords. That he learned a little bit more about swords that he was interested in as well.
And I think also the material in the exhibit, while some are replications of ancient swords and that the organization or the curators have made using modern materials, some of them are genuine antique swords, which is so cool. The oldest piece in the collection dates back to 1606, and it's just, I think it's really cool to have something that is that old, just kind of like local, that we can like look at and kind of like look into that like.
It's a piece of history just on campus, yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I don't know. This exhibit seems really cool. It's something that I might have to check out myself. I think I need to go find my armor, prepare for battle.
This is really good. I might actually challenge you to a duel very soon.
Don't do that.
I might have to. Okay, we'll have to go before this gets serious. Okay.
Hi Titans, this is Jayden Lovelady, the editor-in-chief of The Daily Titan. Stay connected and follow us at The Daily Titan on social media, and be sure to pick up a copy of our broadsheet in the orange newsstands on campus. And if you want more stories, check us out online.
Wow, I really don't know how to intro the story. I wonder if there's somebody I can ask, something I can ask even.
Like artificial intelligence,
Like artificial intelligence.
But you have to check over it to make sure it's, you know, a solid intro.
That actually reminds me of the story that we're introing now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Do tell.
Yeah, this week's opinion story is written by opinion assistant Emily Leach, and it's talking about AI detection in work, specifically how that affects the relationship between students and professors, and then kind of like the intricacies of scanning for AI work that students submit.
Yeah, I thought this article brought up a lot of really unique and really interesting points, namely about how AI cannot really detect other AI's work and the sort of false positives and false negatives that come out of that.
Yeah, a lot of the emphasis, or a lot of what the story brought up, was like a lot of the false positives that come up when you're trying to scan student work for AI. Specifically, the story mentioned a study done by the Washington Post Jeffrey Fowler, who used, I thought this was really interesting, he used 16 different essays, and they were a mix between some being fully written by AI, some being fully written by a human person, and then some were a mix, and then he ran them through Turnitin, which is like a very popular software that's used to like scan for like originality that even like some professors here use, and then out of the 16 pieces of writing that Fowler plugged in to Turnitin, only 6 were guessed correct. I think that also just coupled with the overall inaccuracy with scanning for like originality, especially like with generative AI use, it really contributes to like a kind of tension between students and teachers.
Definitely.
That is brought up in this article, and I thought that was really interesting.
I also thought another interesting point was that like AI can't detect AI's work as long as it's rephrased. Like you can generate a whole essay on ChatGPT and just sort of rephrase key points here and there, and it'll slide through the AI detection. So it sort of brings up a point of obsolescence about using this AI detection software made by AI to check over AI work.
I agree. I think even past that, this essay kind of calls for professors to maybe like lean away from relying on this to check the originality or like the integrity of their students' work because of its unreliability or like very low accuracy levels.
Definitely. And bias also plays a large part in AI's use, you know, whether there's bias put into the AI when it was created or bias of the people using the AI. But something I thought was really interesting towards the end of the article was that people that don't have a super strong command over the English language, whether that's non-native speakers or things like that, are more likely to get flagged by AI software detection for AI in their work than people that are native English speakers.
Yeah, and I think for people who are trying to get into writing or trying to like kind of put more of an emphasis on like original writing, whether they are native English speakers or not, this kind of affects their confidence like within their writing, like the use of AI scanners like this, and I think the somewhat known knowledge that they're not accurate 100% of the time kind of leaves people who write essays shifting their writing style. Like some people who like use M dashes or other things that are like pretty consistent with how AI answers like essay prompts will kind of like shift their writing style out of fear of being called out for using AI when the work is like in reality theirs.
Definitely.
But I thought it was interesting that the article brought up like that, like the tension that is causing between like students and professors.
Definitely. Like one thing that the article brought up that I really appreciated was like they were saying how if you feel like there's that level of tension between you and your professor, you're less likely to come to them for help. And I think that's very true.
And even on the side of the professor, it kind of like touched on how even though they know that these platforms or these like scanners are not the most accurate, it's like kind of all that they have. Like if these scanners aren't accurate, then like literally what like defense, for lack of better phrasing, do they have against students submitting writing that is like fully AI generated?
Do you write with M dashes, like in your personal whatever you submit for class?
You know what? I usually don't. This semester though, I've been like picking it up a little bit. I've opened my eyes. They're actually really like fun to work with.
They are fun to work with. I feel like DT has got me indoctrinated into the use of M dashes.
Yeah, I think that's what it is too. In general though, it is weird how like the rising use of AI kind of just like shifts perception like that, because literally before ChatGPT, or like even like before like pretty recently, I like didn't even like really think of MJAS as like that, and now it's like cemented into my head like that's ChatGPT.
I've dumbed down my writing on like discussion posts because I wouldn't say I write with like a super professional tone, but I try to write with like a level of an academic tone, and I feel like I've shifted my tone to be a lot more casual, at least by my standards, on like discussion posts and things in class, just because I don't want it to come across like, oh, I just filtered this through ChatGPT and I got like super comma heavy, semicolon heavy, like kind of response.
I think in my work, I don't really think I've shifted my writing style in a crazy way. I don't think that, I don't know, maybe for now at least, I have a writing style that's pretty different than like ChatGPT. I would hope so.
Okay, I'm done with this one. I need to go ask ChatGPT to do my homework now.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna leave you to that. I need to go do my homework with my human hands.
And what if I do the same thing?
I don't believe you anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just like AI can't believe in AI.
No, I think we should move on.
I think we should. You know what time it is?
What time is it?
Time winding down. I think we have to pass it to our bro.
Wait, like pass as in a basketball, as in like men's basketball? Oh, who are we
Pass it to the man of the hour.
Oh!
Our makeshift sports correspondent.
Sergio Gonzalez.
Sergio Gonzalez is here to talk about men's basketball with us.
Oh my gosh, I am here to talk about men's basketball.
All right, so what's up with men's basketball?
Men's basketball lost a basketball game on Saturday.
Don't tell me the basketball team didn't win the basketball game.
The basketball team did not win the basketball game.
What was the score of the basketball game that the basketball team did not
Yeah,
win?
so the basketball team lost by a score of 85-73 against the Pacific University basketball team.
No.
I know.
How did that loss look? What were the numbers looking like?
Not good.
Not good?
Sadly. Pacific, I don't want to say they're lesser competition because they are like somewhat subpar to, or like on par with Fullerton. But for whatever reason, like they proved like Fullerton did not really like contest them at all. Like they came out of the jump scoring right away. They started the game on a 12-0 run. They were up by 20 only 14 minutes into the game. So I don't know what happened. Yeah, I mean, they had a very sound win to open their season, but ever since then it's been a little bit shaky. So,
do you think that might be a symptom of them kind of facing higher level competition since that D3 school that they stomped?
Partially, yes. After the D3, they play Wyoming and Cal, and those are some pretty decent D1 comps. But both of those were on the road, and they were in arenas of like a few thousand people. This time, it was against Pacific at Titan Gym, mind you, in front of 459 people. So it really kind of puts into perspective, like, I don't know, we should be able to defend home court a little bit, especially against competition like that. I feel like if they're coming to Fullerton, we should be able to beat them.
Titan Gym only seats 459 people?
That's the attendance for the game.
Oh.
Yeah, it can get up to around like 3K.
Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, it was not good. Not a good game.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it.
What was the team's reaction to the turnout?
They, like... I actually watched the second half, and I did not go to the game, I will admit. But our staff writer, Isaac VZ Chavez, he wrote the game. Dominic Crenshaw took photos. But I will say that it wasn't the prettiest outcome. I mean, at the very end, they did show some life. They cut the lead to 7. There were some positives among like the guys on the bench. One thing that I'm very conflicted about when it comes to Dedrick Taylor is that he doesn't start his best guys.
He has a constantly changing rotation every game. Huh?
Yeah, he had 2 starters play. One of them played 10 minutes, the other played 9. And the bench scored 51 of the team's 73 points. So, like,
I mean, good for the bench, but that's just...
But the thing is, I feel like the guys on the bench should be the ones starting.
That would make the most sense.
And that's an issue... That's an issue that I've had personally, or not an issue, but just
Just like
I
an
guess a bit of
observation.
yeah, an observation I've always had. I think it kind of dates back to like some similarities from last season as well. Not really sure what that is about, but I feel like some guys, I mean, they're given the same chance. Like, they're playing decent numbers even off the bench, but even still, it's a little bit conflicting.
What do you think the team could do to win these next couple games going forward?
Next is going to be tough because they play a rare 3 games in 3-day span.
Oh,
They're traveling to Portland for a basketball tournament, obviously. They're playing in the Portland MTE in Portland, Oregon, and they have a game on Friday against Portland, Saturday against St. Thomas, and Sunday against Northern Colorado. But 3 straight games is like low-key kind of unforeseen for basketball, so I don't really know how they're going to shape up or how Coach Taylor's going to manage his lineup or whatnot. Maybe we'll see a little bit of tweaks just to keep guys like fresh. But a lot on the table going forward.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of time to rest up, of course. I mean, like, about 5 days in between, but it'll be interesting. Like, obviously, the team is still kind of figuring out its chemistry, but, I mean, only being 4 games into the season, but hopefully some good outcomes next weekend.
It can only go up from here.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully it will,
And hopefully it will.
right?
I believe it will. I don't know. I have hope.
I know, right? It's a little interesting. I will kind of random note, but after the 3 games, they have a game against Pepperdine, so that's 4, and then after that, they have 2. I almost like to call it like a sneak peek game for conference. Like, they play 2 conference opponents,
Who are they playing?
Cal Poly and Hawaii,
Ooh.
and then after that, they go like 3 weeks of non-conference again. So it's like they kind of get a feel for it a little bit, and then they hop into conference. So it's like they do have some time to kind of shift gears, but
Yeah.
we'll see how the team gels.
Yes, we will.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Goodbye.
And that's it for this week's episode of the GT Pod. Be sure to pick up a copy of the Daily Titan on campus or check us out at dailytitan.com to read the articles mentioned in today's episode. Thank you all for listening, and as always, if you like us, we love you.
All right, Titans, you know we got to give a big old round of thank yous out before this episode's over, so we're going to start off with a special thank you to our executive producers, Sergio Gonzalez and Jayden Lovelady. We're going to follow that one up with another thank you going out to our producer, Michelle King. And we're going to follow that thank you up with another thank you going out to our assistant producers, Gizelle, Medina, and Raniel Santos. Our outro music is done by Bijan Shoushtarizadeh, and you know we owe him a big old thank you as well, so thank you to him. And we got to give the biggest thank you we possibly can out to all of you guys for tuning in and staying in touch with Daily Titan. Please pick up a copy of the broadsheet when you're out on campus, and stay up to date for more stories at dailytitan.com. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.